Well, here we've got three kids standing in front of their dad's gleaming new car, and looks like they're gonna go and have a game of tennis. You can see these old wooden rackets over here, and it looks a bit blurred, but not quite sure how. But so we're gonna have a look and see what's going on with this image. And the first thing we always look for is point sources or shiny little objects and see whether they become streaks of light or circles of light. So over here it looks like there's some shiny objects, so let's zoom in. And if you look carefully, you'll see that there's all these little streaks. They sort of at about 45 degrees. There's one, there's one, there. Um, that's sort of become like a little double edge. They're all in the same direction, in the same distance. And so from that we can basically say this is motion blur. And so what we're going to do is treat it as motion blur. But before we do that, let's just imagine for a minute that there weren't any point sources in this image. And that does happen. So what we're going to do instead is look at something which has got edges in all directions, and we're going to look at this tennis racket. And if you look carefully, you'll see that this edge is in focus, these two edges, and so are those. But these edges are quite blurred, and they're wider than they should be, and those edges at the top there as well. So from that we can see that the motion blur is in that direction. And you can also see there's like a little bit of a double exposure of the rim of the wheel. So let's go ahead with putting in a direction of that, and go filter, focus magic, fix motion blur, and I'm going to click up there. And first of all I'm going to make this line here line up with the direction of those little things, those point sources. I'm just going around in a circle, and somewhere around there that looks like that's about parallel to that. And then now I'm just going to slowly increase the blur distance, and you can watch the image change as I do that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks pretty good. I'll just try, if you go too far, let's see what happens. It sort of goes a bit distorted. Somewhere around 6 or 7 looks okay. You'll also see that there's a bit of grain or noise around here. It looks a bit splodgy. If I click and hold down, that's before and after. So the original image, you can see it's a bit grainy, so we need to say select remove noise more. I'm just going to go straight to much more, and that looks better. So it's just removed some of that rubbish on the background. So that's before and after. That looks nice and tidy. Now let's look at the tennis racket. So that's before and that's after. Looks nice and tidy. And now let's focus the whole image, and that looks a lot better. Let's just zoom out and have a look. And if I go Control Z and Y, Control Z and Y, if you look at the image, that looks a lot tidier. So Control Z is before, Control Y, and that's after. So there you go. That's how to fix motion blur, and hope you have fun with your images. And see you later. Bye.